Hello everyone, as an experienced and highly successful movie critic, I am the most qualified to be the one leading this tier list, which contains some of the most popular animated movies of all time. But before I take over this list from the top to the bottom, I will let every one of you have a single movie go to whatever tier you want to, because that's what we established beforehand.
Animated movies are for nerds and brokies, but if you're a billionaire and have spare time, then you can watch Kung Fu Panda, because it's basically a Rocky movie, but an animated version where this fat-ass Panda Po escapes the Matrix and fucks everyone up like me in my kickboxing days. I'm a playboy, so put this in supermodel class, just like my bitches.
I don't get you guys. We clearly need to put Baby Boss up there in the God tier.
Good Lord have mercy upon us. As of me, I would put Beauty and the Beast into a good time truly. My reasoning is the fact that it reminds me of my marriage, because I am like the beauty in the movie and Hillary is a straight up demon, and it's a good movie, but it can't go too far up because I always get sad about the fact that it's basically a documentary about my life.
Cool story. I would put Winnie the Pooh up there in the sky because it feels like a trip to the Wonderland with these funny characters that represent every possible mind illness like this. Tiger is just hyperactive with his ADHD, Donkey's always depressed, and Christopher is just straight up schizophrenic.
Wall-E stands as the pinnacle of animated cinema due to its profound exploration of environmentalism, loneliness, and human connection. Through its portrayal of a dystopian future, the film prompts viewers to confront the consequences of environmental neglect while also delving into the universal human emotions of loneliness and the innate desire for social connection. Additionally, Wall-E critiques consumerism, highlighting the dangers of excessive consumption and technology dependence. By masterfully weaving together these themes, the film resonates deeply with audiences, leaving a lasting impact and earning its place as the greatest piece of animated cinema in history.
Madagascar is an iconic movie for me. These characters are so diverse and lovable, and all of them have a story, and they try to fit in the wildlife after being kept in zoos for years. And it has King Julian in it, and that's automatically bumps it up in terms of quality. One thing that I would change is the penguins, because they feel less like themselves in this movie. The standalone Penguins movie and TV show is fire, but this just ain't it here. Anyway, the movie is iconic.
Honestly, I just want to get Coco to the lowest tier possible because it's a bit too ethnic for me. And I hate how Pixar made that skeleton aunt hips so wide. Like, why would you do that with a literal skeleton thick?
Okay, just for that comment, I'm done with giving you options to decide anything. I do the rest now. So to start off, we have the third Shrek movie, and I know that it's the second best Shrek movie in terms of box office, but it wasn't even that good, and it's overrated as hell. All the characters that were introduced here for the first time, like Merlin and Arthur Pendragon, are forgettable. And what is even worse is that all they did for the main villain is to just recycle them from the second movie. How lazy is that? But it was made pretty well, animations are smooth, and the humor is still there, so it's still merit a okay tier. I will watch it with my kids, but I would not spend time on rewatching it alone.
Listen here, guys. The Incredibles are a top-notch movie, and it's not even close. This is peak superhero movie. The main villain is this movie is a bit like Biden voters. They idolize someone, and then they start to hate them after they find out how crooked Biden and all of the Democratic Party are ruining the hell of this country, and they just want to eradicate all of the government.
I'm not even going to comment that.
Not gonna lie, I would absolutely go goo goo go gaga for the Elastigirl.
Honk honk milky train!
Now let's go to the next super movie, which is the sequel to Shrek. And one of the situations where sequel obliterates OG movie, even though original movie is still a great movie that everybody loves. Second Shrek took everything from the first movie and made it better and added just more stuff to it, but not in a way that Shrek the Third did. In fact, if you would skip Shrek the Third and went straight to the forever after, you wouldn't have any gaps in the plot other than King Harold being dead. And don't even try to say something about spoilers in the comments, because the last Shrek movie came out 14 years ago, and we will probably spoil the plot of every movie. So if you plan to watch at least one of these movies, like Spider-Man, then get out of here and go watch it, and then you can go back.
One thing that troubles me with The Incredibles 2 is the voice actors. We waited 14 freaking years for this sequel, and the voice actors aged a bit, and you can hear that. Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible sound like Joe and Jill, while their kids, excluding Jack, sound like a full-grown ass adults because their voice actors are full grown up. But seeing them back in the action and not being a lazy cash grab is kind of cool, and Jack gradually becoming the ultimate superhero with having like 50 different superpowers, including super strength and shooting laser beams out of his eyes, is also a cool thing because you know we will see more of him in potential future movies or series.
I did some research on Elastigirl, let's say, and I found out that she actually got thicker in Incredibles 2. I even made this proof right here in paint. Look at this. You can clearly see that her waist shrink drastically, and her thighs, along with Plum, just grew as much as my cock.
We don't want to hear it. I don't know how to feel Madagascar 2. It's really forgettable and mid. I don't even remember what is the plot of this movie, to be honest with you all.
This movie is the one where they flew this plane and where this old crazy granny was teaching these New Yorkers how to survive in the wilderness.
George's ears just perked up when he was talking about the plane part.
You're not funny, Donald. And where the hell is George anyway? He was here for the last 2 tier lists.
He told me before that he had a dinner with Laura planned tonight, so let the man eat in peace.
All right, fair enough. Again, I would put this movie along the Shrek the Third because it feels empty. It could be just deleted and no one would be sad about it. But the next one is definitely not going to be mine to rate because I have a clear bias, as it said in Island of Kauai, which is an absolutely gorgeous Hawaiian island.
I really don't know why, but I always have a strong urge to just curb stomp the shit out of this weird blue motherfucker. Worst of them all, absolute dog shit show thrashed here.
What the fuck?
Yes. Now this underrated gem, Shrek Forever After, it was a beautiful movie. Let me tell you, the Rumpelstiltskin is a great villain that you just want to shoot on the spot. And Shrek's adventure into parallel timeline is also something fresh and different with all the ogres there, but the plot itself is really not as good. So I'm gonna just quickly put it a tier below the best Shrek.
Peter Pan is definitely a Joe type of person.
Oh, H, of course, because when Michael Jackson likes kids or some parent loves their kids, it's all cool and dandy. But when I say I love kids, it's a criminal offense and everybody calls the police and I get a restraining order from yet another playground. What is up with that? In fact, fuck you guys. I'm placing Peter Pan in top tier just to piss you off.
Joey put it down to the second lowest tier, or I'm going to napalm White House right now.
I'm not your puppet, oh banana-mungus.
Do it or I'm gonna melt all the ice cream in the world.
Wow, chill the fuck down, Trump. I'm gonna move it right now, just don't do anything stupid, Jesus Christ, man.
What do we think of Ice Age Boys?
Look, all I'm trying to say is that this fucking dumbass squirrel is somehow the most complex character, and his adventures were crazy, and it was so realistic that they showed how underwater pressure folded him just like the Titan submarine.
Don't forget about the time travel. He once time traveled to multiple realities and he ended up with putting multiple copies of himself in one universe, which is a paradox that is the worst possible breakage of the time continuum. This Ice Age universe have its own multiverse, which is crazy for animated kids movie made years ago. Absolute top dog of a movie.
Now let's rate Cars in the bulk. It starts with arguably the best animated movies of all time and ends with a literal repeat of the first movie, but the second one isn't really horrible, but it just missed out a genre for the target audience. It's comparable to Fast and Furious Downfall, but on a smaller scale, and Pixar actually knew that they fucked up, so they reverted it in the third movie. The first is going all the way up, second one is okay, meanwhile the third one should go along okay too. Because it's good, but only because it was basically the remastered version of the first movie.
I already ranted about Shrek, so you know that it goes just below the Shrek 2, but it's like the best possible movie from the iconic tier.
Spider-Man is a disgrace to the society and a lucky prick. This fucking nerd never deserved his powers, but the utilization of the multiverse is actually crazy in this movie, but I think Across the Spider-Verse topped this movie. I wouldn't mind putting this into the iconic tier.
This nigga is actually real-life J. Jonah Jameson.
Cry about it, Beta.
Now, fellas, don't get your knickers in a twist because it's not the time. I love Frozen, but only when Elsa and Anna were kids, but when they grew up, they just wouldn't cut it for me. They were no longer hot.
Oh my God.
Ants might be a shit movie, but it started the entire Pixar universe thing, and it's the OG Pixar movie, so it deserves at least an okay tier.
Now, Ratatouille just proved my feelings right about French restaurants and their disgusting cooking process. They use disgusting rats to make food. Thrash tier?
No, you fat, stinky piece of lard. Ratatouille is not going anywhere near thrash. It's a good time, truly, at least.
I'm surprised you didn't break your wrist or something when you slammed the desk.
Now, the most obvious S tier of all time. If anyone have any complaints about Lion King being the rightful part of top tier, spit them out right now. Any objections? I thought so. Moving on, we got another 90s movie, but this time it's Toy Story, and you can love this movie however much you want, but I just can't get over the quality of the animation. I don't give a fuck if it's from 1800s. Shrek was made just 6 years later, and it looks great, so no excuses. It would go to iconic if it weren't for the goddamn quality.
You a Minions? Bello. Me want banana gelato.
Good God, put it up in a thrash tier. Haha, got him.
Now, I'll have, everything that was made in the Cars exact timeline is just a cash grab to make money from the said Cars movie. I mean, like, what's next? You gonna make a movie about a cargo ship wanting to become a submarine?
I once watched this Bolt movie, and it's kind of crappy, but it doesn't hurt to watch. It'll be a great addition to Peter Pan and Frozen.
And there you have it all. Don't forget to subscribe and to give us money by becoming a channel member. Money, money, sweet money.
Subscribe to Oval Office Gaming right now, or Barack will go get your oil with his drones.